In the golden hills of Akyem, in a Akan village where the sun kissed the earth like a mother's blessing, the wind carried whispers of an ancient prophecy. A child shall be born with two hearts. One shall beat for the living, the other for the dead. He shall either open the gate of peace or of sorrow. No one believed it until the boy came, the cry that stilled the forest. The morning of Kwabina's birth was no ordinary one. The skies were clear, yet the birds didn't sing. The mighty baobab trees stood still, as though even the wind dared not disturb the silence. It was as if the entire forest had paused to listen, to wait. Inside a small clay hut tucked at the edge of the Akan village of Akyem, a woman screamed, a long, painful wail that seemed to shake the earth. Her name was Abena, the village's finest weaver, known for her quiet strength and warm smile. But on that day, her voice was thunder. Women crowded outside the hut, whispering prayers and chants as the village midwife, old Nana Afia, crouched beside the laboring woman. The air smelled of burning herbs, sweat, and fear. When the child finally arrived, the midwife's hands trembled. She pressed her ear against the baby's chest once, then again. She gasped, "No, no, this cannot be." Abena, drenched in sweat, raised her head weakly. "What is it?" she whispered. The midwife turned to her, wide-eyed. "He has two hearts, both beating strong. One slow and heavy, the other fast like the drum of war." The room went silent. Kofi Dwamina, Abena's husband, rushed in, still in his warrior's cloak. When he saw the child, his face hardened, not with pride, but with something deeper, dread. He had seen strange things in battle, men possessed, warriors cursed. But this? A child with two hearts? Word spread like wildfire through the village. "The prophecy," whispered an elder. "It has begun." Priestess Yaa Akoto, a woman with skin like polished ebony and eyes that saw beyond the veil, was summoned from the shrine. When she entered the hut, she said nothing at first. She only touched the baby's chest, then fell into a trance. Her body stiffened, her lips murmured things no one understood. The baby stared up at her, not crying, not fussing, just watching her, almost knowingly. Then the priestess spoke. "This child is a vessel. One heart beats for the world of the living, the other for the realm of the dead. He is the bridge. He will bring peace or destruction." The room chilled. One of the women fainted. Kofi stepped forward, gripping his carved wooden sword. "What must we do?" The priestess looked him straight in the eyes. "You must raise him with discipline and wisdom. Never allow him to walk alone in the dark. The ancestors will whisper. One day, they will try to claim him." She turned to the boy. "And you," she said softly, "must one day choose." And so, the child was named Kwabina Nyansa, born on a Tuesday, bearer of wisdom. But among the villagers, they called him something else. Abafra Madan, the child of two worlds. Kwabina's early years were strange and beautiful. By the time he could walk, he had already puzzled the elders. When he laughed, people nearby felt warmth in their chests. But when he cried, oh, when he cried, even the sun seemed to dim. Children playing in the village would suddenly pause and stare into the distance, unsure why their hearts grew heavy. He was different. At 5 years old, he began speaking of dreams that no one could explain. "I was in a village with no roofs," he would say. "The people wore white and walked through walls." The elders dismissed it at first, until he began calling out the names of long-dead ancestors in perfect detail. He told his mother what her own grandmother used to whisper to her at night. He spoke of things no living child should know. By age 7, he began sleepwalking. Some nights, he was found sitting beside the ancestral grove, speaking softly in the voice of an old man. Other times, he'd be standing at the edge of the forest, eyes rolled back, whispering in ancient tongues. His father tried to train him in the ways of warriors, but Kwabina's hands trembled around the spear. "I don't want to harm anything," he'd say. "When I close my eyes, I feel every living thing. Even the trees breathe." The villagers grew uneasy. Some said he was a blessing, sent to guide them. Others murmured about curses and omens. They avoided his shadow, fearing what might linger within it. Only the village priestess, Yaa Akoto, understood. One evening, she called his parents to the shrine. The boy was 10 then, silent but watching. She traced white chalk on the floor and lit a sacred fire. "This boy," she said, "cannot remain here. The veil between life and death grows thinner each day he walks these lands." Kofi clenched his fists. "He is my son. And he may die if you keep him here," Yaa replied. "Or worse, he may forget who he is." That night, under a silver moon, a visitor arrived. His name was Mkhulu Zwide, a Zulu mystic from the south, dressed in leopard skin and crowned with cowrie shells. He carried a staff carved with the faces of ancestors. "I heard his heartbeat from across the rivers," Zwide said. "Send him with me. Let him walk the sacred paths of the Zulu. There he will learn the meaning of both hearts. There he will find his choice." With heavy hearts, Abena and Kofi agreed. Kwabina, now wearing a necklace of carved gold gifted by his mother, left the lands of the Akan and journeyed into the deep south, toward the mysterious hills of the Zulu, where drums echoed in the caves and the ancestors walked close. The Zulu welcomed him as Sipho, meaning the gift. It was the name their own dreams had shown them. He was taken to Nkatsamawini, the place of glory, a village nestled between sacred hills where warriors trained not only with spear and shield but with spirit and song. There, it was said, ancestors whispered through the wind, and the boundary between realms was thin. Sipho was placed under the care of Mama Namasanto, the ancient Isengoma whose bones could summon visions. She saw something in the boy that both awed and frightened her, a light and darkness sharing the same soul. "This child is not here to fight with weapons," she told the council. "He is a battle himself." Sipho began his training not in the arena, but in the caves of reflection, deep under the earth. There he learned how to listen, not just to people, but to stones, to rivers, to fire. He sat for days in silence, watching ants carry leaves, listening to the breath of trees. During ceremonies he danced with the other acolytes, but when he moved, dust rose around him like a spirit cloak. Drummers said the rhythm changed with his steps, as if an unseen force danced alongside him. At night, Mama Namasanto spoke to him by the fire. "Two hearts mean two truths," she whispered one evening. "But the world allows only one path. You must choose, child. You must choose soon." But Sipho refused. "Both are part of me," he said. "Why must I choose to be half of myself?" One day, a sick child was brought from a neighboring village. Sipho laid his hands on her and whispered prayers. She was healed. But that night, a goat was found dead, eyes wide with terror. A warrior claimed he saw shadows circling the kraal. The boy healed, but something else came with him, they whispered. Some began to fear him. Children loved him. Elders watched him. The warriors respected him but stepped carefully when he passed. His powers grew, but so did the imbalance inside him. At times, he would fall into trance and speak in the voices of the dead. Other times, he'd be overcome with love, weeping at the sight of a newborn goat. Mama Namasanto warned him again. If you do not choose one heart, the two will tear you apart, or tear the world around you. But Sipho only looked at her, his eyes glowing faintly. I am both river and flame. Why must I become only one? The signs came without warning. First, the river reversed its flow, pulling fish and silt backward like the breath of a dying god. Then the cattle refused to drink. Crops blackened under clear skies. Women miscarried under the full moon. Children wailed without cause. And then, the sky turned red. It was not the red of dusk or war. It was deeper, like blood poured across the heavens. The elders gathered, rattling bones, consulting spirits. All signs pointed to one cause, the boy. Mama Namasanto summoned a council that included seers from both the Zulu lands and distant messengers from the Akan. The message was clear. The boy has walked too long with both hearts. The balance is broken. The dead are restless. The living are suffering. He must choose now, or we will all pay the price. The village gathered under the ancient baobab of ancestors, a tree older than memory. Sipho stood at the base, tall, calm, wrapped in a cloak of white feathers. Around him, drums beat like thunder. Women wailed. Warriors knelt. Mama Namasanto approached, eyes full of sorrow. My son, she said, you must silence one heart. End this. Choose life or death. Walk one world. Sipho looked up at the bleeding sky. I hear them, he said. The ancestors call me. They offer me visions, wisdom, power beyond knowing. But I also hear the living, their laughter, their pain, their songs. Must I really lose one to honor the other? A silence fell. And then, without a word, he turned and walked away. That night became known in both Zulu and Akan lands as the Night of Silence. No animal stirred. No drum dared speak. Even the insects, ever faithful in their songs, vanished into stillness. Sipho wandered toward the Umsunduzi forest, the final place where both worlds touched. The mist hung thick like ancestral breath, and the trees glowed faintly with otherworldly light. It was said that only the chosen could walk its sacred path without being lost forever. At the entrance, two figures awaited him. The first was Abena, his mother, now older, her eyes tired but strong. Her wrapper was faded, but her hands trembled with hope. The second was his father, Kofi Dwamina, now a spirit draped in white ash, his face solemn. Abena cried, my son, please, come back. Choose the heart of life. Be with your people. Your body belongs to this world. Kofi raised his hand gently. My son, come with me. Let me teach you all you are meant to know. We walk in the land of memory and meaning. Tears streamed down Sipho's face. The forest trembled around him. He fell to his knees and placed one palm over his chest. The two hearts beat furiously, one like thunder, one like a hymn. Then, slowly, deliberately, he silenced one. The wind howled. Trees bent. A final cry rose from his lips, one of pain, one of peace. And the world sighed. He had chosen life. Sipho returned to the Akan Hills, older, gentler, and changed. He no longer heard the dead, but he never forgot them. He built a sanctuary for orphans and elders, saying, I carry the wisdom of two worlds, but walk in one. May we live so well that the dead are proud. They say that when he died, the forest opened again, not in sorrow, but to welcome him home. Some say he still walks between the trees, not as a bridge, but as a guardian.